Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Good, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, and you? Love the salt lamp there.
Thank you, thanks. I love it when you like touch it and it's Himalayan salt.
Mhm.
Like it's incredible. And when I first got it, I thought it was aesthetic.
Right.
And then I was like, no, oh my gosh, it actually is Himalayan salt.
Yeah.
It's amazing the benefits as well of these things in our rooms that we don't, well, many people don't actually think about, do they?
Yeah. Like they just think it looks nice, but actually it's
Yeah.
doing good things.
Do you have anything in your room like that?
Yeah, I've got a Himalayan salt lamp. It's just like the other side of my camera.
Do you? Oh, I love that. Also, our Instagrams and our platforms are so similar. So I'm going to dive straight into it. Um, how did you come into mind and body healing? And I know that you had a chronic illness journey. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, so I got glandular fever when I was at uni, so when I was like 18, 19. And then it's kind of classic story of chronic fatigue syndrome. It never got better. Like I got glandular fever, and then the symptoms of that just stayed for months and months. And then I got diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, and a host of other things like fibromyalgia,
Yeah.
POTS, and the things that tend to come along. I always say it's like CFS and friends. Like there's
Yeah.
little buddies that come along with it.
Yeah. And loads of people will relate to that because I think a lot of people, when they get diagnosed with one thing, almost the stress of that diagnosis leads to further illnesses from that.
Yeah, and then you end up with a nice little collection of like
Yeah.
symbols and yeah. So yeah, then that led to like a 8-year journey of me trying to recover from all these chronic symptoms and obviously going down like the traditional medical routes and not getting much success with that because I think all those kind of mind-body conditions are not well understood at all and you're kind of just told like oh well this is it now you'll just have to learn to like manage it for the rest of your life like these are the things you can do to manage it and I'm there like manage it no like I don't want this I don't want to live the rest of my life with these symptoms.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And so many people get told that, don't they? Even with, for example, like living with chronic anxiety, it's like, well, this is how you need to get used to your life being. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way, I promise.
Yes. And yeah, I think that's what you're saying about is so similar with our pages is like empowering people to know that you can change things in your life. Like you don't have to just accept that like, oh, that's me now. Like this is it.
Yeah. So what did you do to change that then?
Yeah, so I think I went on my own little research, I had that like, no, I'm not going to accept that this is it for the rest of my life, that there must be people out there that have found like a way out of this. So I started looking for that, like just looking up CFS recovery and found like YouTube channels of people talking about healing all sorts of chronic illnesses, not just CFS, but like um what's that word? I was going to say lupus then, that's not right. Lyme's,
Oh,
all sorts of different autoimmune conditions and like healing it through the nervous system and through mind body work. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. If they can like heal all those kind of conditions, then I'm sure I can heal mine too. Um, yeah, and then ended up finding like programs, like recovery programs that talked about the nervous system and the whole like mind body concepts of your emotions affecting your physical health and things like that. And yeah,
yeah,
what
absolutely.
what
So,
helps me recover.
yeah, what came up for you then? Like, what really shone through that was holding you in those illnesses, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, I think it's such a like holistic picture. Like it's not, I can't say like it was just this one thing. I do think there's so many like pieces to the puzzle. But I think generally with myself and also from seeing it in other people that have recovered and also now I work with clients are seeing the same patterns in them that I think there's this history of like having a certain personality type of, usually it's like overachievers, type A, like people pleasing, perfectionists, putting a lot of pressure on yourself to like be good and do the best you can, never feeling like you're enough, like deep down. It's always trying to prove your worth. So I think there's that underlying like personality pattern aspect that has kind of set your nervous system up for more pressure and stress than people that don't fall into those patterns. That's kind of like a contributor. And then also like ignoring your body because of those things, you're like overriding your body. So like because you're trying to work so hard or do things for other people, you're ignoring your own needs to do that. It's almost like self-sacrificing. So you've been going years without listening to what your body needs and looking after it, at the expense of like trying to do things for others or trying to do well at your work or whatever you're trying to do. So I
Yeah.
think there's those combinations of, yeah, I had these personality patterns. I was overriding, not listening to my body, adding so much stress, and then also ignoring my emotions. Like I wasn't feeling anything, suppressing everything. I had a lot of like, yeah, emotional things happen through my life that I just didn't process. So it was all kind of stored in my body. Um, and then getting that virus was basically just like the tipping point that got to my nervous system to be like, okay, that's enough. Nope, I can't, like, it's too much, can't handle all of this. And it kind of like shut down and gone into this like protective survival state, like frozen. So I think
Yeah.
the like piece is about addressing those underlying things like the personality patterns and the feeling your emotions, listening to your body, but also there's an element of needing to rewire your nervous system to show it that actually you are safe and okay now, and you are capable of handling life with your newfound like tools and ability to say no and putting boundaries, and all of that like gives you um the like tools to live in the world that you're not overriding yourself, that you are like living in alignment and listening to your body.
Yeah, and you're like making yourself number one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of those attributes that you just explained, I think it's so important for people to understand that emotions will sit in your body in different places, causing pain depending on what emotion it is. And the holistic part of it is so important to understand how like the energy works in the body. For say having feminine side and a masculine side, and we have to allow them to work together, and you don't have to always control, because you can have balance if you're noticing both sides. But it is a much bigger picture, isn't it? Because a lot of people also don't like to embrace both masculine and feminine sides to them. So as soon as we stop doing that, the emotions start to become trapped in one side.
Yeah.
And it's a domino effect, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, I really like that you mentioned the feminine, masculine things. I think that's so important to kind of bring those into balance, because I think that those traits that I mentioned, like overachieving, things like that, overworking, is very masculine. And I think a lot of people that end up with chronic symptoms have been very much in their masculine. To get like burnout is classic, like overdoing, gotta go, 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 hustle, hustle, like that kind of energy is very masculine. And yeah, control, like you said, like trying to control all the outcomes, that's like anxiety is very much in that as well. They're like trying to predict what's going to happen, and controlling everything's very masculine. So we do need to kind of move more into the feminine of like letting go, allowing ourselves to rest. Like rest
Yeah.
is so important, and that's very like feminine. And like softening our bodies, like listening and moving, all of those things are very feminine. But I think also there's a like risk of going too far into the feminine, where it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna like lie around and rest all day and hope that I somehow like get there, when we do need that masculine as well to kind of provide that structure and holding so that we can rest and be in that letting go. We do also need the structure of, even our masculine can be about telling us, okay, we've been on our phone scrolling for half an hour, time to come off now. Like that's the
Yeah, it's still control, isn't
yeah.
it? And like, what would you say to somebody then? Like, if I came to you and I said, I'm just controlling everything, and I know I'm controlling everything, because most people that are will know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and if I said to you, I'm controlling everything, I don't have control over anything because I'm trying to control so much. I feel completely overwhelmed. What can I do?
Yeah. I think that, like, first of all, realizing that, like you just said, you can never control anything. Like, control is an illusion. You don't have control, you have anxiety. Like, you
Yeah, okay.
worrying about all these things when really we can't control anything that happens in life. Really, we can only control our like response and reaction to what happens. That's the only thing that you have true control over, is like your response and how you're feeling. And I think the control thing comes down to a lack of trust, either a lack of trust in ourselves or a lack of trust in like life, in other people. It's usually that like deeper mistrust, and that often also comes from a lack of feeling safe, like not feeling safe in your body, in your nervous system, not feeling safe to trust in life. So it's more about working on that rather than saying, just stop controlling things, like let go of the control. It's about, okay, how can I come into that place inside me that trusts, that knows that everything will be okay no matter what, like no matter how it turns out, I'll be okay because I have these resources to come back to this place of safety. And yeah, like I know I've got me. It doesn't matter what happens outside of me.
Yeah, but how can you help somebody do that? Like, I know we do this,
Yeah.
but how everyone has their unique way, which is so special about there being many different healers out there because there's a healer for everybody. But what works for you with your clients?
Yeah. I work a lot with like somatics and embodiment. So a lot of, yeah, that is how we kind of cultivate safety, is somatically in the body. So that might look like, I'm a big fan of yoga nidra, like deep rest practices that are connecting you to your body. Somatics in terms of like self-touch and self-hold, like literally doing, I don't know if you've heard of havening, probably,
Yeah,
like gentle self-touch and affirmations and things like that to like bring in that sense of safety and soothing into our nervous system. And also looking at resourcing outside of ourselves. So whether that's like connecting with pets and loved ones or being in nature, like things that help you to feel that feeling of safety and comfort and like everything's okay in the world. It could be like taking a bath or yeah, going for a walk in nature is usually a good one.
yeah,
Yeah, looking at like what resources help you feel like that, and like somatic tools you can use to build up that sense inside yourself. But also then there's the deeper layers of like inner child work and parts work of going back to like why you don't feel safe in the first place, what that younger version of you needs to feel safe, and kind of mothering, nurturing that part of you that needs you to say like, hey, it's okay, I've got you, we've got this.
yeah. And you have a lovely, like, nurturing nature. I can feel that already. And like for the people that don't know, is we have never spoken before this. So that is how quickly you can connect with somebody and feel safe. But we have to trust in the people around us to that they can help us and that they can benefit us in that way. But I think it's like you're explaining, is if you haven't felt that trust in maybe your upbringing or in situations that have happened to you in your adult life, then it's really hard to actually have that trust
Yeah.
in the first place to go, do you know what? You can help me.
Mm.
And that's where then it's our job, isn't it, to embody ourselves and
Yeah.
show ourselves for who we are so people can trust us. What does your life look like to stay embodied so people trust you?
Mm. I guess it's that, like I said, about trusting myself. Like people can pick up if they trust you if you trust yourself, or like yeah,
Yeah.
that building that trust in me is kind of then modeling it for someone else. Like this is what trust feels like. This is what safety feels like, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess doing that, the inner work of looking at my own like childhood patterns and things like that has got me to where I am. But in terms of like what I do to maintain that, I think embodiment work for me looks a lot like movement. So I've always got some sort of daily movement practice that will change depending on how I feel. So it could be like Dancing is a big one for me. So it could be putting on some music and like really having a good shake around, like letting all the stress go that I feel like's built up in my body and like coming back to my center. Or some days it might look like sitting on the floor and just kind of like gently swaying and feeling into like the softness in me. It could be like lying on the floor in a starfish shape and just
Yeah.
taking some deep breaths and maybe saying some affirmations as well. Sometimes, like I used to do a lot of trust stuff, so I'd open up and be like, I trust in life, or I trust in my path, I trust my pace, like things like that, that bring a sense of like comfort and ease into my body and taking deep breaths in that.
Oh my gosh, you make me want to do it. And actually, when you just said that, I did. I sat back and I was like,
More open. Yeah,
and your shoulders kind of like just drop, and I felt a yawn come as well.
nice.
So I'm probably quite tired, aren't I?
You're probably like picking up on like that's more signals of safety. So like you've opened up, you've sat back, you're taking a yawn almost like a sigh. It's like your system relaxing, your nervous system.
Mm. Yeah, and for people that haven't done holistic healing before, all of those things show up, don't they? It's like in a session, you know, when you're at school, I don't know if you ever had this, but like at school, you're in class and the teacher's like, don't yawn. Like we always used to get told, like, don't yawn. And it's actually just bringing yourself that breath that your body needs.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not a bad thing. And so when clients come to me, often they're like, oh, sorry, I'm yawning so much. I'm like, no, no, like that's good. Like you yawn.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good sign that your nervous system's feeling safer and like things are shifting. Usually a sigh or a yawn is yeah, like things shifting in your body. And yeah, it's funny how people always say like, am I boring you when you yawn? Or like
Yeah,
you're bored.
literally. I think that's quite a generational thing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's definitely ways that are showing up now from the generations that have been that are causing more illness now from the habits that were in place, but also like the opposite as well. Because when I look at the generations that have been, I always think it's quite sad actually at how much community there was.
Yeah.
Like talking way back, like when people used to bring up their kids, they say it takes a village, and literally it would be a village of people. Whereas we don't have that now. So then I think people can be quite hard on themselves, like you're saying, is like going into that control, the doing, the it's almost performing, isn't it? To like prove themselves because they have to do it on their own now. So where would you go with somebody if they are that person? I'm giving you loads of ideas of who we're talking to because I know there's going to be a varied audience watching, and I think it's really good to help people take that first step, you know? Like if I'm that mother that's just spinning every bloody plate and I can't get a grip on anything, what's the first step? Like I've literally got screaming children and I don't have support behind me. What would you say?
Yeah. And yeah, I really feel what you're saying there about the village thing. And I think about this a lot. I don't have children myself yet, but I think that all the time. I'm like, how do mothers do it without that village? Like there really isn't that support. And there's also that added pressure of like most mums have to work as well because one income isn't enough now. Like you need both. So it's just, yeah, so much more pressure and so much less support. And like you said, there's that element of performing or needing to look like we've got everything together. And I think some of it is about giving like mums giving themselves permission that they don't need to have everything together because like no one really does. Like everyone's trying to reach that, like to pretend that they have, but I think inside no one really does, and they're like stressing themselves to get to that point. So taking that pressure off that you can be a mess, that the house can, the dishes can be in the sink, that you know it's hard and we don't need to be on top of it all the time.
Yeah.
Having that compassion for yourself, I guess. But also, I think it's that really taking some time for yourself in whatever way that is, knowing that like there will always be stuff that needs to get done. Like that to-do list will never end. It will never get to a point where you're like, okay, great. Like the kids are all tucked up, all the laundry's done, everything's tidy, like da, 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 now I can take time for myself. Like that's not going to happen. So you have to take it before everything's done and in order, like we want it to be. It's just taking that time now anyway, like finding those small moments and pauses for yourself to just come back and take 3 breaths and be with yourself and say, hey, I'm doing my best, I'm doing good enough.
Yeah, I think that's such a good thing that you've just brought up there about like the small moments. Like
Mm.
it actually just doesn't need to be, oh, I need to sit down and do a half an hour practice. Where am I going to find that time? Oh, I'm not successful because I'm not finding the time to meditate or go for my walk or do this or do that. It's actually, let's just take 3 breaths.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It breaks up the day as well, just bringing yourself back to your body. And I know I said about like the domino effect of it's what effect does that then have on your kids and like everyone around you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's so much more important to do those like little moments of coming back rather than, yeah, trying to get in a half an hour practice and then it might not happen if you don't get the time. I
Yeah.
always say to people, if you feel like you don't have time, have you got time to boil the kettle for a cup of tea? Like most people do. During that time that the kettle's boiling, instead of being like, oh, let me tidy up the kitchen or do something else while it's boiling, can you literally just stand next to it and breathe, or maybe take a stretch or have a shake or whatever your body is needing for that minute or however long it takes for the kettle to boil? Take that moment for yourself instead of filling it with other things or scrolling.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that is one, isn't it? It's just like filling any moment with a scroll or looking at our phones. And even I, who like work with people all the time, we're not all perfect. Like I catch myself and I'm like, oh, being on my phone too much today. Let's put it down. Let's go out for a walk in an evening for just even 10 minutes, even if I just walk up the road and come back, just without my phone on me.
Mhm.
Like that for me is so peaceful.
Yeah.
Because you can like notice what's around you, can't you? Even like the leaves rustling or birds, and you pick up so many more senses, and all of those things are giving you energy, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just that mindfulness of really being present and noticing the colors around you and feeling the air on your skin and like, yeah, being really, really fully present is the most like regulating, relaxing thing for your nervous system.
Yeah. When you said about the dance
Mm.
and then like afterwards you brought up like the messiness, I'm like also like just dancing in a messy way that like you don't care who's watching, just dance, just like move your body.
Uh, Absolutely. And definitely like as a mum as well, that's a way you can bring it in with your kids. Like just say, okay, we're gonna have a dance party and then have
Yeah.
just like move and dance. And that's a way for you to release your stress and yeah, like just move it out your body for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because we are mirrors, aren't we? Anything that we believe isn't possible, our kids are going to believe, or the people around us are going to believe. So if like we're already judging ourselves for not being able to dance or move freely with messiness, then everyone around us is going to believe that too. And it immediately puts that pressure on, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's that I think it's a bit about permission as well. Like when we see other people just going for it and it doesn't need to look pretty, it's like giving us permission of like, oh, okay, I can just like move and it doesn't
Yeah.
need to look good.
Yeah, whenever I've been in like women's circles doing that, it's so funny because there'll always be one leader of messiness, and the ripple effect of everyone just suddenly becoming more and more wild is like really evident when you're in that situation. And in Bali, I lived there last year and I did quite a few of those like women's circles. And there was this one specific lady that I loved going to because it would literally be like, that's not messy, come on, like let's get it out.
Yes.
It's so good for you. It's so good. It like charges you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I run a yoga teacher as well, and I run like classes and stuff, and I often get people to do like free movement and shaking. And like one of the things I get them to say when we're moving and shaking is like, if I told you that right now you could get rid of like all the stress, all the limiting beliefs, all the trauma, everything from your life ever through like shaking, how big would you move? Like how much would you shake? And then everyone goes like berserk, like ah!
Yeah. That is such a good one. And then also, like, we start to understand kids more because really they're only having a tantrum because they've got emotions to express.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Like they know where it's at. Like we come
yeah,
into the world knowing exactly how to like regulate ourselves and well, not regulate ourselves, but like release our emotions and feel our emotions and like have that tantrum and let it out or have a cry. And you watch how quickly kids go from like, proper sobbing to like, okay, can I have an ice cream now? Like it's
yeah,
so quickly and then suddenly everything's fine because they've allowed themselves to like move through that and let it out. But as
yeah.
older, we get told like, oh no, shush, stop crying, or like it's bad to have a tantrum. You get told off for having a tantrum. Like we get told not to have emotions and to
Mm.
be quiet and sit still and be good and suppress
Or
it.
like that child would get told that they can't have the ice cream because they've just had a tantrum.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like,
so
and then they're literally being brought up off of punishment rather than being rewarded for feeling their emotion.
yes, that's so true. The amount of times you hear like when kids are crying, mum's going, "You won't have your ice cream later if you don't stop."
Yeah. Yeah, and eating as well, like when parents say, "Well, if you don't eat that, then you're not getting dessert." And it's like that the impact on people's beliefs in every thought and everything that you're saying has such an internal impact then on how people eat and how they view food. It's like, "Oh, I have to eat everything even if I'm full because then I'm not then gonna have the treat."
Yeah, yeah,
It's like there's just so many ripples and domino effects. But then, like, how do we not seek perfection to impact those around us in a negative way when there's so much that we could analyze and criticize ourselves on?
yeah. As in terms of like not being perfect mum for your children.
Yeah. Yeah, like we're saying, like, oh, like if they say, "Oh, you can't have that ice cream because you've just had a tantrum," there are many cases like that. And how does a mother that's already struggling with control then
Mm.
become aware of those comments and what they should and shouldn't, and what is should and shouldn't?
Yeah, I think that's a really hard one. And to be honest, it's something that um like worries me about being a mum or something that I think about that I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so much pressure to not like say or do the right thing and thinking I'm gonna mess them up for when they're older. But it's just accepting that like all you can do is your best with like the current level of understanding and awareness that you have. You can't change things that you're not aware of. So, and it's not like usually it's literally just passed on. So we're just repeating saying stuff that our mum said to us and until we can become aware of actually that impacted me in a negative way, so I'm going to try and not do that. But you can, yeah, like I said, you can only do your best, and there's always going to be like in something that when your child grows up, they're like, oh, my mum was so this or so that, because there's also that risk of going the other way. Like if you had a really controlling mum, you then might be like, yeah, do what you want. Like I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not going to tell you off because you're trying to like overcorrect, and then obviously they have no boundaries, no rules, and they might struggle with that. So like that can happen as well, going in that pendulum swing. So it's just, yeah, accepting that there's always going to be something. We can't be perfect, but trusting that your best is enough. And as long as you like love them and see them and can be present with them, that's all they truly need is to know that they're loved and know that they're enough.
Yeah, and it's that awareness element that you just said is so important. It's like you can only do as best as your awareness is there. So if you don't, maybe actually it's if you don't feel like you are doing your best, where can you expand your awareness rather than being critical? Why get curious?
Mm. Yeah, I
That
love Don't be critical, get curious. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that literally just came up for me. Good little phrase that.
It
That's
is.
these conversations are so good because they just spark new ways of thinking about things and coming up with ways that we can perceive things, which is just expanding our consciousness. And I think everyone else can do that as well. Is like I said, we haven't spoken before, and we're expanding our consciousness to think in new ways like that, rather than
Mm.
being critical, be curious. It's like there are so many ways to expand your awareness with others around us, and texting the same people every single day in and out, or ranting to the same friend all the time and scrolling isn't going to actually bring more awareness to you as a person. It really needs to be in conscious conversations where you are getting curious.
Yeah, that's so true. That yeah, if you're like always speaking to the same people and putting yourself in the same spaces, like how are you supposed to yeah expand and learn?
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's something that is hard to do because you need confidence to do it.
Mm.
Um, but and then we loop back round to the trust thing, don't we?
Yeah. But even just like listening, so people listening to your podcast and like listening to other people have conversations can also like expand your awareness and your consciousness. I know I've learned so much from listening to podcasts and yeah, listening to other people have conversations.
Yeah. Do you know one of the main things that changed for me when I was like expanding my own consciousness was in the past, if you said to me like 5 years ago, go for a meal out on your own, I would be like, absolutely not. There is no way. Like, I would be that person. If I saw somebody having a meal out on their own in a restaurant, I'd be like, I feel so sorry for them. Like, they obviously have no one. Like, oh, I really want to go and sit with them. And now I'm literally like, leave me on my own. No problem. I'll go anywhere on my own. I'm really happy being on my own. And one of my favorite things is going for a coffee, not with my phone, and just watching the world go by, like watching people go by, like the little passing of conversation, how the person interacts with the barista, you know, we can learn about how maybe we don't approach situations well, or we do, or have a little chuckle or a laugh to what somebody else said.
Mm.
And that's like one of my favorite moments of building more awareness.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And yeah, I love people watching, but I don't know if I've ever like really taken it in like that, that you are like observing like how people behave and how then it's reflecting back on how we are and yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to get quite obsessed with yourself. Like, I think a lot of people don't want to come across as like self-obsessed or arrogant or have a high ego. So then they kind of avoid bigging themselves up and becoming more conscious and bolder. And I'm like, no, like what are you doing? Like you should be your like biggest, boldest self. Like, step into yourself, get so curious that you're obsessed with yourself at being more conscious.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
what do you think you do that's like that?
In terms of like building my awareness and things like
Yeah.
yeah. Um, no, I'm trying to think like what I'm because you know when you like on you can't pinpoint what it is. Like
Yeah.
for me, a lot of it was about like learning through others, like through podcasts or journals and whatever. Obviously, going to therapy is really good for increasing your self-awareness as well. Um, and like doing workbooks. Definitely, I did a lot of those. Like, I don't know if you've come across Love Yourself, Heal Your Life, Louise Hay, and there's like a workbook that comes with that. And it's a
Yes.
lot of like reflective journal prompts to help you become more aware of your patterns and your beliefs around things. So it goes through everything, literally, like your beliefs around money, your beliefs around family, about health and illness, about work, like, and it really goes into like, what do I believe? Where did these beliefs come from? Like, are these helpful for me? Like, becoming really aware of what you believe, because your beliefs do like inform how you behave in the world and how you think about things and how you feel about things. So starting to question like, do I want to think that about this, or do I want to believe something else? And yeah, so I think journaling definitely was a big one for me, and therapy. Um, and yeah, I guess being curious, like you said, about how I respond to certain situations. Like when something, people always talk about triggers, but like when I feel triggered by something, like, oh, that really got me angry or upset, and then kind of getting curious about why was that? Like, why did that really affect me? What am I thinking, believing about myself or about others? And yeah, getting
Yeah, that is really important to bring light on, isn't it? Because our triggers are just our lessons. And we can always look into them, but it's whether or not you want to look into them. So you want to. And I suppose that's how you've got yourself to here, like you're saying, like those workbooks and looking into your triggers got you to have more awareness.
Mm.
And you are now then talking like really like deep rooted belief. Like
Mhm.
you're going like real far back into conditioning, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I think it's so important for people to know that there's like layers of consciousness, and you can notice the leaves around you and the animals, and drink herbal teas and notice it on your senses at touch. But then you can go beyond that if you wish to, and every layer that everybody wants to go into will take them further into their consciousness. um and that's peace, isn't it?
Yeah, and also pain. I would say like there's this
Yeah.
like double-sided sword there of like the deeper you go, you're gonna see the messy crap that you don't want to like acknowledge, and it can be painful to like start questioning these things, but at the underneath that is peace of like understanding yourself more and being able to, like you said, feel more empowered in yourself and trust yourself more, and it brings all of that kind of, yeah, being more embodied in who you are and your authentic self rather than your conditioned self.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But then the pain of that, I don't know, I find it quite thrilling now. When something comes up that's painful, I'm like, oh, come on then, like show it to me, because I know the peace and the joy that comes, and I know that every single time I face that pain, I just feel so much more alive afterwards. Whereas in the past, where I'd block out that pain, I would then have IBS and asthma and migraines and like sore throats. I was always unwell, like chest infections, throat, like coughs. And that pain, I honestly would never ever go back to, for the pain that healing brings. And like I've gone to the depths. I did once a spiritual journey where I actually went back to being a baby, and I had to regrow, and that was really painful, but because it was control. It was exactly like at the beginning of the conversation, it's like I had to, in that moment, in my adult body, drop back into a baby. Like I couldn't walk. I was like stuck on the floor, and I had to relearn everything, and it was control, letting go of all control.
Yeah.
Like, and that's painful, but actually learning that I can let go of control like that
Mm.
is so far greater than the IBS.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's liberating, like to let go of control. I do think it's like those deeper layers that you're saying, it's like just more and more letting go, like layers and layers of what more can I let go of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's your goal then now? Like, where are you heading? What do you want to achieve now you've got your conscious awareness at where it is?
I mean, I think it never ends. Like there's always more to learn and expand and become more aware. And yeah, I think it's a like continual growing and learning journey. So I think that that will like continue forever. I'll only continue to like deepen those layers. But I think what you're saying about that when you go into those depths and feel that pain, like the level of peace and joy it brings, I really do feel like, yeah, you're, as you expand your capacity to feel all the like painful emotions, it's also expanding your capacity to feel joy and love and like deeper feelings of that. So I think I'm more kind of, I feel like I've done so much like of the deep work where you're in it and you're in the emotions and stuff, and now I'm really focused on like what brings me joy, what lights me up, following that and really like savoring that and being like, that's what life's about, not all about the like seriousness and getting somewhere and pushing. Like, no, it's about how can I have more fun? Like how can I
Yeah.
more and yeah, play more and have more joy. So I think I'm very like much focused on that. um that's my like yeah, next level of consciousness is like how can I be the most blissed out joyful person.
I absolutely love that because I'm on the same path as you now. I'm like, I want to attract and draw in that joy, like the vibrancy
Yeah.
of just, it's like doing more in a completely different way. It's like shifting it 180 where you're doing more, but it's being,
Yes, yeah,
and it's like a magnet.
it's doing stuff from that place of like childlike wonder, like with that the curiosity and the playfulness and like yeah.
I love that for you. I love it for me. And I love it for everybody that's listening that's got that to come or are in it with us too. It's
Absolutely.
it's the best place to be. Um, but thank you so much for coming and sharing all of this. And I love that we're on this path together. So I'll keep following you and tracking you on because I feel like we are on such level paths and it's so amazing to like celebrate everybody that's choosing this path
Mm.
because like we said, it's not easy. It's not an easy path. So if you're here, yes, you're doing so bloody well. And I will tag your Instagram below so
Yeah.
everyone can find you and contact you if they wish to work with you as well, because I think that you do have a really lovely, nurturing aura, and there is so much out there for everybody to be able to heal and grow and have that messiness, that somatic bliss that we all deserve.
Yeah, love
Yeah.
that. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really, really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you. I feel really like energized after that. It was like having so much fun.
I know it's so good. Like whenever I do them, I'm like, God, I'm ready to like take on the world now.
Yeah, let's go.
Use the energy, keep it going in your day.
Absolutely. I feel like, yeah, I get so much
Yeah.
done.